very long time. So just so I was a very young man when I met him. Back in the 80s. So, seems like he's not Asian, I'm Asian, it's kind of weird. Steve is one of the pioneers in the city where, if you say the renaissance of technology, innovation in Portland, in the early days, the companies used to be Tektronix, was a really large company here. Yeah. And then the spin-off started happening, and Steve formed a marketing agency with a couple of his friends, and a company called Meta Graphics, which is KBO. Yeah. But you were, the client was, and I used to work there, that company just skyrocketed, was one of the, I think the fastest 200 million in sales and an IPO on NASDAQ. It was like 2 years ago. So he has, you know, plenty of background. Now he's gone into sort of sports marketing, but how can you avoid that if you're in Portland, right? So anyhow, that's my introduction, and he's helping me out with a lot of stuff. Doesn't know a lot about marketing and technology.
Actually, sports is on tech these days.
I was going to say, we do tech and we do sports, and now they're doing that.
Yeah.
And he's a musician too.
I didn't look up for the words.
Well, my turn.
Yeah.
I'm Scott Eber. Basically, Certitude Digital, and before that, Org Optics, is kind of basically the creation of this sweet brain. Scott Orman has been with me the longest as an employee, about a year and a half ago. Years ago, and he basically responsible for everything that I can't get done. He's really, really good at that, or we wouldn't be here. Levi is in charge of our quality assurance. And she's really for planning ahead for bringing on future people, getting systems in place, and you guys have been developing on it, how important that is. So we're trying to get ahead of that. She's doing systems. She's bringing on what's currently Teradata, Tilster, Quantum, Nokia. And she also happens to be my wife, and so basically that was that.
So she's the boss, basically.
Yeah, she basically keeps the money flowing so we can do this. So basically, we don't have a couple of teams that I think members that you met David Jansen, who kind of handles the business side of the house. So we're not strong on that here in our presence today. So hopefully you'll forgive us. And then James Carter's been my patent attorney for 10 years now. Isn't with us. He's in Florida at the moment. He has businesses in Florida and also Britain. So other than that, basically this is pretty much it. And we are today going to span two things, I think, basically referential to things you're interested in. And I really want to have a conversation with you at some point because probably a lot of, and I think I sent you an email relative to that, but a lot of our newer direction we're kind of refining, and I'm kind of getting into that picture. So I'll just go with the introduction or whatever. So let you go into that, but basically that's us. So I was going to pass it on to you, but if you want to hear.
Well, no,
We're going to continue right with the introduction.
Yeah. Okay. Am I next?
Yeah, you're next.
Okay. So I haven't known the bar as long as Steve has. I think we're go back since November, although we chatted to each other for a bit. My background is primarily in networking, security, systems engineering. I started out at Bell Labs, Xerox for a lot of years. I was the principal network architect for some of what we call satellite projects at the turn of the century. I've been working, so up until the turn of the century, it was mostly video transport, a lot of things like that. Early internet stuff. Then around then, I started working on wireless, late 90s, early aughts, a lot of wireless, mesh wireless networks. Satellite, and the satellite network we look at it's a lot like the SpaceX thing they're talking about now with satellite mesh networks. So, decentralized computing to the aughts and did a couple startups. Worked about a stint at Intel looking at video quality of service. And for the last 10 years or so, I've been focusing on startups that involve decentralized computing. So, I can still program. So even though I'm an architect, I'm still writing code for Mark.
One of the few that architects write code. Always a good
The only way you can trust them. So. We got, you could put up, anybody can do a diagram.
That's true.
That's me.
I'm Mark, and I'm sort of responsible for pulling all of you together today, and I'm really happy we could all be together. My background is I started a lot of businesses. I pulled this out only in case anybody was interested in seeing one of them. I was heavily involved in the entertainment industry at one point. You guys can kind of just take a look. Some of my businesses have grossed over 100 million a year. Others were very small and boutique-ish in nature, and I have an interest in building things. And right now, my focus is on bringing disruptive technologies to market and building teams. And I have come to the conclusion, and everybody has been hearing me say this over and over again, probably getting tired of it, but I've come to the conclusion that it all comes down to team. When I have the right teams surrounding the right intellectual properties, we succeed. When I have the wrong teams or the wrong money, somehow we always fail. So I've done it enough times to recognize that there's a need for that sort of important chemistry that's not just the IP chemistry to surround the IP with, you know, the human nature chemistry to make these things work. So the reason I wanted everybody to come here today essentially is when I launched Peace, which is my latest initiative to sort of try and connect the dots between my network of 20,000 plus people and companies that I've worked with. Mark DiCarlo was one of my very first finds and one of my very first client signings, and I had no idea how talented Mark was, but I loved his idea. So we started a little business, on the side together and Mark said, well, let's just do this for fun, which was interesting. And then the more I got to know Mark, the more I realized there was a lot more to Mark and his background and air pollution systems and other things that we were dreaming of. So when I met Scott, it was easy to sort of think, oh, there's a connection there. And what I'd like to do is build a team around Mark. So, and because I feel he is a strong core, ethical, smart guy that, I would like to put my energy behind building a team around. And so that's kind of where we're at. I don't have any further agenda other than we want to explore and understand what you guys have so we can see if maybe some puzzle pieces maybe can be put together here.
Yeah, I'm Mark DiCarlo. I'm a retired Air Force Security Forces officer, which was basically military police. I did 20 years in the military. I did law enforcement, security, anti-terrorism, and force protection. To tell you a little bit about my background, I was less than 5 miles from Osama bin Laden, about 30 days from the raid. I was on the ground in Pakistan there 30 days before all that went down. I wasn't there for that. If I knew he was there, I just would have dropped I was there. Yeah, I would have just like, really? Hold on. But yeah, we were in a pretty dangerous part of town there. But during my last tour with the military, I was actually stationed at the Pentagon, and I was in charge of developing DoD-wide technology programs. And as we talked, I developed the IMESA, the Identity Matching Engine for Security Analysis, which ties all the DoD physical access control systems together and does continuous vetting. Well, that was only phase 1 of the program. If I stayed with the DoD and didn't move to Oregon, after I retired, they wanted me to develop this common operating picture, this predictive analysis. So in addition to evaluating AMUmail, Scott, I know somewhere down the road I'd like to talk about some of the technology that you had already started working on, and I think there's a synergy there. And I know the DoD is still interested in it because I just talked to them last week, and they're still interested in that technology. So that's my background. That's it. Turn it over to you.
Do my thing, okay? I don't know if I should stand for this or be more comfortable with you saying you have to be doing this.
Either way, it's a few.
Sometimes.
Whatever.
Sometimes I like to impose authority and stuff like that. It gets me nowhere, usually in jail. That's my job.
Before we jump into that, this is not talking to, at least the screens I've even flipped over. Okay. See if this will take a look.
The restrooms, by the way, are just out straight ahead, right before that water fountain.
Is there coffee in that?
Yeah.
Yep.
So fancy.
Taking care of this. This is a beautiful building.
It is. It's an old, it's furniture.
I like it. It's like industrial. I like it. It's
Yeah.
very nice. Great part of town too.
I'll let
I
Carla
I just
know
noticed
you're
the
here.
building burned down 2 blocks down.
Just those there?
Turned out actually they were
Yeah.
one of the music,
Sort of just dropped and
You know,
ran.
the
World
latest
music,
school is coded.
Oh, chamber music.
Chamber Music Northwest,
Oh.
yeah.
So I asked
Offices
for
in
it
there.
to roll it
Yeah,
down.
and I saw their picture, they sent the thing trying to raise money. That's
Smart.
I recognize that. That's the one that burned down over by you guys.
Yeah, that was interesting. That went on for, you know, I mean, after.
Yeah, buildings don't burn like that anymore. That was what's so amazing.
Yeah, it went on for at least a day, you know, and they were just
No, I
still
mean, yeah,
putting water on it.
When did it happen?
About a month ago.
Oh my gosh.
That's kind of tragic.
That's pretty bad. That's, yeah, I saw, I noticed that too on the way. I was like, my
You don't
God.
normally see buildings burn.
No, I was like, what the
They didn't have sprinklers.
Got it extended, so.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I just heard from somebody last week that, you know, might be arson.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh, man.
Okay, so now you're
Like the owner.
here.
Oh.
This
Classic.
Oh,
is-
one
okay,
of
that's
those,
right on
yeah.
screen.
Which is, you know,
Okay.
there's a, what do you
All
call
right,
it,
okay,
ATF
I'll keep changing.
truck parked out there for the whole
Okay.
week, so they
Oh,
were really
so
going
I'm
through
actually
it.
gonna want
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's normally the sign.
Yeah.
Usually it's a restaurant.
Because the,
Was there a restaurant in there? That's
Just a
tiny
tiny little
slideshow
thing,
My-
will
my
show with
early college
detail.
job was a parking attendant at a restaurant in St. Louis.
Anything,
The owner of that restaurant had several restaurants burned down. Burned out.
Oh, yeah.
You wanna sit down?
Waking up. This is a need to know only.
Okay, see, here's.
We know that's really a bar.
Okay.
It's funny because
And,
the women's
what is the-
restroom has a code on it too, and
The secret of code.
I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what it was. I
leave the ladies.
She said, I can't tell you. I don't think about it.
Particularly, they don't tell you.
Yeah.
Center, crossover, whatever.
Oh, okay, that's why.
Got it?
There was.
Yeah. Okay.
About a year ago.
That's actually really good security.
I think,
That's pretty good.
Sorry about that little technical glitch.
I'm gonna try.
No
one.
worries. Oh.
Is that too dark?
No, that's
That's
good.
actually very good, and then he's kind of like,
Oh,
did
okay.
they give you enough light to look
I
through?
expect
She needs some light. Okay, that.
you know
I
what?
start crying because I'm afraid
Scott,
of
this is
ours.
still not, neither of these
Only
are.
this one's for kids, so it'll be okay for you.
I'm sitting in the light over
There.
there.
Well, let's have something change. Okay, let's get to.
Have you started filming already?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you've been filming since the start.